Alright, well, it's a Sunday, and I'm streaming, and where's my thing? Come on, there we go. It's a Sunday, can you believe it? Hey Eric, how's it going? Johnny 5K is on DLive. I know most people are on YouTube now, but Johnny is over on DLive. So, if you ever feel like talking to him. Sark and For Real Mate. How's it going? Johnny's all alone. Johnny Guitar. That's my Johnny. How's that song go? K-Nat's gonna be here for an hour, then it's time to go to bed. Oh, good to see you, K-Nat. Victorian says he's on his way to a Super Bowl party and is just gonna listen while he's driving. Alright, well, stay safe. Pay attention to the road. Don't want you to get hurt on the way to your party. Your superb owl party. Have you seen that meme? Because if you take out the space from Super Bowl, it's not like... It's ambiguous between Super Bowl and superb owl. Something to think about. Ando, how's it going? I'll probably just play a little Deep Rock, talk about some stuff. You know, this is a first Sunday stream, right? And for anyone who hadn't heard, you know, I'm gonna do Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll probably hijack Saturdays and Sundays occasionally to go on my main channel and stream about with no video games and stuff. Hey Nat says hello to you, Johnny 5K. He's on YouTube, but he says hello to you. And he says hello to everyone else, but they can read it. And whoever that one person on Twitch is, hello.
Hey, listen!
Oh my gosh. Thanks for the lemon. Piers Taylor. K-Nat, Johnny says hello back.
Hey,
I'm probably not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna personally do a lot of announcing between the chats, but thanks for the ice cream, Piers. But yeah. Well, you know, one of the things I was posting about today on Twitter was about globalism, like the idea of a more globalized community, right? And obviously that's a big thing that's happening all around us. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. The fact is it is happening. And it's going to have consequences. And some of those consequences you might decide that you like, and some of those consequences you might decide that you don't. But they are there. The example that I gave on Twitter was something like, oh gosh. Maybe I'll wait for the Hoarder to get down somewhere I can fight it at better. So, one of the examples I gave of consequences of globalism today, again, you can decide you like this or not, is there are musical artists, like mega artists. Think, who's that one guy? Started out black and then turned white. Oh, Michael Jackson. Oh, this is a low oxygen mission? Oh, man. Jump over here.
Deep dive. The horrors of Hoxxes await you. Work hard, stay focused, and keep an eye on your objectives.
Michael Jackson as a global phenomena wouldn't be possible in a non-globalized world. I mean, you saw, like, when he died or whatever, you had, like, an outpouring of support all over the world. You know, you saw people in Latin America having some huge vigil and this and that, and, like, obviously that would be impossible in a world of isolated community. Like, culturally, we were more like islands with, like, limited, slow transfer of cultural memes and ideas and media. And, you know, so for some people who have the potential to reach that level of success, the global level, then globalism enables them something that they could not ever have without it. There's 2 eggs here.
Explosives, bikes. Where is that damn mule?
But, you know, historically, I think, when you're not globalized, right? You have the opportunity for the local musical hero, right? Again, this is just, we're just talking about music because it's an easy example. I mean, it's everything. But, you would have a local musical hero and heroes, and, you know, you'd have your local band or musical troupe, etc. Oh, I missed.
We got the menace.
And I think on some level, a lot of those people who would be local musical heroes are now just nothing, right? Like, your culturally isolated communities that would have had that local hero, whoever that guy is, you know, Dave. Dave now uploads a few things to SoundCloud. He gets, like, less than 4 people in the world to listen to it, 3 of which are his family, and then is otherwise completely anonymous to the entire world. Well, so I think you and me are using a different definition or a way of thinking about globalism, Eric. I mean, I'm not talking about a global government. I'm thinking like cultural globalism, right? Like where we all around the world, people are tuning into Spotify to listen to the same people, right? The same few artists, you know, where everyone in the world, like, rather than the biggest musician in your town and the biggest musician in my town being different people, they are often the same people. You know, it's like... And this is a rough approximation, obviously. There's, like, lots of musical tastes and lots of different types of music and blah, blah, blah. But I think the general idea is something most of us can agree with. And I mean, just, I mean, you could even look at things like, how many soft drink, you know, manufacturers did you have historically, you know? There was a lot of local companies that would make a soda pop or this limoncello, lemonade, different things, and that's largely been replaced with your Coke and your Pepsi, and, you know, even alternatives to Coke and Pepsi tend to be pretty darn big nowadays. You know, someone's like, oh, well, you know, I drink Jones Soda. It's like, bro, Jones Soda is like... I don't know who owns Jones Soda. It might be Coke or Pepsi, but even if it's not, there's like Jones Soda is still like many times larger than, you know, the regionals. You know, I remember, so I spent a lot of time as a kid in upstate New York, up in the Adirondacks, right? Adirondack Mountains. And I remember I could dig into the ground and you would find old bottles and stuff from like local places that produce soft drinks or beers, right? For like Warrensburg or, you know, different like Utica bottling drink manufacturer. So it's like this with music, it's like this with soft drinks, it's like this with, you know, your whole community, it's like this with morality to some degree, although there's a lot of genetic components to that. This is, like, the only reason I think you don't end up with a uniculture, when you have, like, global dissemination of information, like everyone's on the same Twitter and is seeing the same posts. Okay, let's get this guy. The only reason you don't end up with, like, a true sort of uniform uniculture is because there are genetic differences between groups, and they can't be the same. Because, well, so, like, theoretically, they could have very similar outcomes, but that's actually not going to be using the same input, which is the thing that really gets some people. I think I'm going to have to explain that because I feel like that's an idea that people really struggle with. And I'm going to have to break out paint to do that. Okay, I'm definitely breaking out paint for this. Even if you understand it, right? We're breaking out paint. Boom. And then, oh, it's already up there. Ready for this? Shapes. The rounded rectangle. So we have cultural inputs. And let's do... I guess let's just do this. Can you guys see that? Oh, I'm too colorblind to see that. Yeah, maybe that. And then we'll just type cultural inputs again in some other color. And then we'll do established culture. What's a good color? Maybe this one? So these two, your eyes? Is this too bright? Should I be building all of these things off a black screen first? But the basic idea here is these are just two different genetic groups of sentient organisms, right? You could say humans and races, humans and ethnies, right? Theoretical non-human sentient organisms. And when I say sentient, I'm like high intelligence, human level intelligence, somewhere around there, right? I don't just mean, some technical definition. That could include a lot. Hey, how's it going, Mr. A? So the basic history of the world is you would have cultural inputs, you would have the local religious groups, you'd have, music, any cultural inputs, whatever you consider to be a cultural input that shapes the culture. Laws. Did you consider laws to be a cultural input? If so, here they are. And you would have a cultural input set for a genetic group, and then they would create the established culture. So this is a flow, right? Let's do line. Let's just do it in black and make it thick. So the cultural inputs get processed through the intellectual faculties, the brain morphology of this group, and then you get the cultural result, right? And then you would have a different ethne somewhere else in the world, right? And they had, they would have different cultural inputs, different part of the world, different circumstances, different music, laws, religion, whatever. And they would establish a different culture. So different input, different established culture, but also a different mechanism for translating input into output, right? So some people, like in our spheres, will recognize the difference between ethnies, but they will still understand the importance of cultural input. Like, if you had a different cultural input, right? So let's, light blue, cultural input. You had a brand new cultural input, established culture. And you said, okay, well, we're not doing this one anymore. Instead, we're going to do this, right? Well, you're not going to get this again because that doesn't make sense. You're going to get this new thing, right? This new established culture. Now, what trips some people up, in my mind, is they'll say, well, because because established culture can be changed via cultural input, therefore we can all be made the same, and we can adopt a universal cultural input to get a universal established culture, and that's simply not true, right? So let's do, boom, this comes in, and then dotted line, established culture, and then let's bring it into this other group, which is using different brain morphology, right? A different genetic group, and guess what happens? A different established culture results, which is critical. Like, you have our guys, some of them, who will start to recognize that, like, yes, we're different, but they'll see that cultural input can create established culture. They hypothesize that established cultures could theoretically converge even with our genetic differences, and somehow they actually come to the conclusion that simply with a universal cultural input, we can actually redirect everyone to be at the same ends. But that's not true, right? Imagine if you had two different machines, one that stretches metal and one that bends metal. You can give them both the same input, right? Because input does affect the output. But if you give them the same input, you'll get different outputs because those machines are genuinely different, right? So theoretically, if you wanted different genetic groups to arrive at the exact same established culture, you would need a very contrived way to determine. You'd have to, like, maybe not contrived. You'd need a very complicated way to determine what cultural inputs each group needs to actually arrive at the established culture. And guess who does that? Guess who does that? That's the people who are talking about equity, right? They're saying, hey, we need to create these systems where different groups get treated differently so that we can arrive at an equitable outcome, right? This is the let's adjust cultural input until we finally get an established culture. I mean, that's Kamala Harris, right? Merlin says Doritos are the last stand of implicit white identity. Well, thank you for that, Merlin. Well, I just felt like, you know, like, I feel like sometimes I get involved in certain, like, you'll go on Twitter and you'll see some right-winger, someone we call a right-winger, you know, like, again, the left-wing, right-wing thing. Left wing, right-wing, you know, whatever that means. They'll sort of, like, accept the group difference genetic understanding, but then they'll be like, well, you know, all we'll have to do is all become Christians, and then we'll all be at the uniculture. And it's like, all right, bro, that's not a thing. I mean, to speak about Christianity, right? What did we see in Europe so many times, you know? How many times in Europe, in different parts, and I don't know the answer to this, my impression is it's at least, you know, a half dozen or more times that Christians were like, all right, no more of this winter solstice Christmas stuff, right? We're done with this. This isn't part of historical Christianity, right? This is like you bringing back your pagan roots into Christianity. So stop it, right? My impression is that happened multiple times. And yet, no matter what, after a few generations, Europeans brought Christmas back, brought the winter solstice back. You know, our wonderful European women went out and got mistletoe and holly and brought it into our homes in the winter solstice because
All eggs collected.
you can't
Objective
stop
completed. You're
the
doing
European
well.
woman from being who she is, right? She's gotta beautify her home in that way. She's gotta find those elements attractive because it's in her blood, right? And similarly, I think if you look honestly at Christianity as it's expressed, like the Christianity has expanded into Korea and Africa, and I think when you look at Christian Europeans and when you look at Christian Africans and when you look at Christian Koreans, you will find some important differences because Koreans can't stop being Koreans just because they become Christian. You know, Africans can't stop being Africans. You know? Europeans can't stop being Europeans. You know? So, there's a bulk detonator. This is just regular deep dive though, so Bosco will probably take it out all by himself. Bosco is the best. Get out of here, you. I missed? How did I miss? Bosco's almost got this guy. You know, I should have actually... I mean, I could if I did it quick, but he's already dead. So one of the strategies, I'm gonna have... So this is a giant bug egg. It has a dreadnought inside of it. And you can use that exploder guy to kill the bug that comes out of that egg. So I could have done that if I thought I had. So Mr. A says, in a hypothetical world where everyone is genetically the same, like the cultural inputs, like everyone could theoretically arrive at the same resultant culture if they were given the same inputs, right? If we were that genetically similar across the entire world, would I be in favor of a global culture? There's obviously upsides and downsides, right? I mean, a united culture and united genetics allow you to come together in ways otherwise impossible. You know, let's say there's a giant asteroid hurtling towards Earth. You know, if we all, the more similar we are, the easier it is to pull together to tackle a big problem. So, I mean, there's value there. That being said, I'm not a big fan of putting all your eggs in one basket, in general, right? I don't want one global government, because I view I think over time, for various reasons, certain cultures will become decadent and collapse, certain governments will become totalitarian and collapse, and it would be great if not the entire world experienced the exact same collapse at all the same time, because things could really go awry on some level, don't you think? Endo says he just had Doritos yesterday. I don't think I've had Doritos in a long time. Have you had the bugs? Have you had the bug burger? Have you had the bug snacks? I mean, I've had those before. You can get like crickets that are covered in like Dorito dust. What I'll try and do with this guy, well, it depends on which guy it is. Oh, it's the Hive Guard. Oh. So he gives out his little babies or whatever, wherever they are. There they are. Sentinels. You gotta kill these before the Hive Guard becomes vulnerable. Oh no! I think I can... If he walks towards me, I can maybe land the resupply on him, which actually won't kill this one. Uh-oh. Don't die. Woo! Come on. Ooh. Oh, come on. Really? It only took out one of his 3 things? I took all that damage for that? I was trying to do something cool. If he had been a different glyph, it actually would have worked better. Oh, really? Get out of here. Okay. Let's just do this, and then that, and then this, then that. Oh, shoot. I'm really damaged.
Getting more ammo.
What do you think of this music, though? I don't know if you can hear the music that well. I might have it down too low. Game has pretty, bumping music, I think the kids say. What do they say? I don't know what they say. Probably say it's lit. Something. Oh, come on. Oh, what? Oh, that's what I wanted. Oh, no. That's also bad.
Things about to go bad.
Nearly dead here. I'm gonna make some giant holes in the floor. Oh, jeez. Woo! Woo! Hey, thanks for the follow, JK. Nearly out of ammo and everything here. Where's my supply drop? Oh, there it is. Oh, and I'm almost out of air. Can't breathe.
I need fresh air. Grabbing ammo.
KNet says, don't Doritos support BLM or something? Probably, dude. I mean, if you're eating food produced in a factory, you're probably supporting BLM whether you like it or not. I mean, listen, you tell me what you think's important. Wow, it's still got a sliver of health. Look at that.
Objective completed. Excellent job.
While he's floating.
All your objectives are completed. Drop pod beacon.
Jessica says she only eats sea bugs. Okay. Crawfish, lobster, and shrimp.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Jeez, that's a lot louder than I remember. JK, thanks for the diamond. I need to open that window so I can actually, because I know with diamonds you can like send a message. I need to actually bring up the window so I can see what message you wrote, if you wrote one. Give me a second. Let's close. Let's put it on pause so I don't die while I'm tabbed out. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but that's because I'm logging into stuff. KNat says, is there a joke going over his head? I don't know. Let's click on this, and then... Okay, so you didn't send a message. That or they took messages out. But thanks for the diamond, Jake. I appreciate it. Ando says, what big corporation didn't support BLM? That depends how big the corporation you think a big corporation is, right? On some level? Okay, I'm gonna grab this. It's not gonna be very useful, but I'm leaving, so may as well grab it.
Deep dive drop pod inbound.
Come on. Oh, it's going the other way. I thought it was coming to me. This is the Cave Angel. They're big, beautiful manta rays. Ooh, coming down. Oh.
Drop
Oh, well,
pod
whatever.
arrived. Retrieving the mule.
I can climb up over
Drop
here.
pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Oh, man. Fell. Well, whatever. Hello, Praetorian. Ooh, come on. I don't know why sometimes the drills stop drilling, but they do. Well, yeah, that's true, Johnny.
Good team effort. The
Johnny
deep
said
dive's
that,
progressing
you know, like,
smoothly.
even the military will carry the BLM signs. Oh, no, sorry, the cops will carry BLM signs and kneel. And I think you saw that from, like, the National Guard and stuff, too, right? You had the National Guard come in for some of those George Floyd riots, and they would kneel. More dreadnoughts? Hmm. What is the Reacher? Reacher? All allies. Victorian says, I keep hearing a lot of talk about people eating bugs. I have eaten bugs because my father was a survival instructor. Oh.
Second stage of the deep dive commencing.
Oh, yeah.
Done well so far. Keep it together.
From the military, and he
Job
taught
done.
me
Fortune and glory
what he
awaits.
was trained, what he
Fortune
trained
and
people to
peace.
do. Yeah, I mean, like, the bugs thing, like, I mean, you want to eat some bugs, I really don't care. I mean, you know, bugs are food. I really, like, it's, the idea of eating bugs doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, you want to have some chocolate-covered ants, I mean, go for it. I don't think it matters. That being said, it's become a political issue because it's being pushed, right? It's being pushed by the media. It's being suggested by what we would call the political left that you have to eat bugs and give up beef or you're a bad person under their moral framework. And, like, so that's where you get the pushback. You know, the sort of people who now are like, I'll never eat the bugs, are people who would have joked about chocolate-covered ants and maybe even tried them, you know, decades ago. But now it's political, so they won't.
Damn thing would have just gotten in the way.
It's dead. I mean, I've had scorpion. Those are super bitter. Awful. I thought there was something in here. Nothing in here?
Explosives, flies.
Guess not. Well, whatever. I liked the idea of the worm and the lollipop, though. You know, the worm sucker. Ugh. Anat says he tried M. poly worms. They were great. I don't know what an M. poly worm is. I've seen those little worm things people eat that they also, like, feed to bearded dragons or whatnot. And that's gross. I don't know if I could eat that. I mean, when I think of eating insects, I'm thinking ant. Like, I couldn't eat an ant. It's an ant. But when someone's like, well, here's a maggot. And I'm like, no. God, no. I just can't eat a maggot, man. I don't want to eat your maggots. I mean, like, I could eat a maggot, but I don't want to eat maggots. Like, that's just, you know. That being said, everyone's got their sort of things that they're on about or whatever. I mean, I've eaten... What are some foods from around the world that some people want to eat? Go to Asia. I've had balut, which is the boiled duck egg with a little baby duck inside of it. I mean, I've eaten that. I've eaten lutefisk, like a Scandinavian fish soaked in lye. The fish preserved in lye, and it sort of gets soft. I mean, I wouldn't call it good. Balut was alright. I've had those preserved eggs, those, what do they call, sentry eggs? Is the eggs that have been preserved and they turn black. I've had those.
Watch out! Dreadnought incoming!
Dreadnought incoming.
Damn minecart on legs. Where is it?
So this is the Lacerator. So you got two bosses here, the Lacerator and the Arbalist. The Lacerator likes to get close, and the Arbalist likes to shoot at you from range. I didn't realize there was more stuff here.
Explosive.
If they get far apart in health, they'll go and sort of share their health, which generally leads to some amount of healing between them. You know, it's not total, but generally it is more efficient to damage them roughly equally, unless one's low enough where you can just burst it down, which I might be able to do here. At some point for sure. Okay, Bosco's shooting a lacerator. A lot. Okay, they're healing. See, they're gonna share their health, they just did. And now when the bar is gray, they're invulnerable. Okay, let's see if I can burst down the lacerator. I can burst down the lacerator.
Here comes trouble.
So this guy sort of like enrages now, and he's invulnerable for a second, and he casts a bunch of stuff. Getting kind of dangerous. Like he's more powerful than he was a second ago. So on some level, bursting one down, like, yeah, it's helpful, but this guy's now running around invulnerable and shooting stuff more powerfully than he did before. Oh my god. Stop shooting me. I might have to... I might as well. Where is he?
Roger that. Supplies are coming.
I can't reach it. Can't reach it up there. Oh, 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 oh. Nope. Okay. Mr. A says, if bugs were any good, you Italians would have made recipes for them. Someone, Mr. A, thinks very highly of your Italian recipes. Not that I don't, but I'm not sure if I necessarily agree. Ooh! Ooh! What? I thought that was gonna miss me, honestly.
Getting more ammo.
Mr. A says he ate whale by mistake, but he thought it was delicious. What'd you think? I've never had it. I have been in Japan and spoken to people who've had whale, and they told me that it seemed to them as a lot like beef. So when I said I hadn't had it, they said that I wasn't. It was their impression that I wasn't missing out on anything great. That, like, yeah, I can try it if I get the opportunity, but it's not like I'm totally, you know, like, oh my god, it's the thing you never had and you gotta have it kind of deal.
Getting supplies.
God, Nero.
This is thirsty.
How did that sound when I said maggots? When I say maggots, does it sound like I'm saying maggots? Because my microphone sometimes cuts out some of the softer sounds, like the M sound at the beginning of maggot. FN says he'd rather eat mealworms than a dong doo-doo egg. What? That being said, no, mealworms, gross. I know it's gross. I'm not eating mealworms. This was the little ones. They're sort of beige, right? They wiggle around. People feed them to bearded dragons. Ah! Oh my god, there's a little hole in the ground shooting me. Whoa. It's a good thing I didn't fall. Let me look at my thing. Okay, where are we? We're almost... Damn it. Get out of here. Where is it? Oh, it's poking me through a hole. This is... I could probably just could have followed the regular tunnel. Been here by now. Okay. Oh god. The breeder. I gotta run over there and get this. So it's dropping these eggs on the ground which explode into jellyfish. These electrical jellyfish. stop you. Okay. These things. Nice.
Yeah! Rock and stone!
Rock and stone. These little things on the ground can't get me. I'm on a cave angel. They can fly up into the air. Mr. Gladius says snails are not bugs. No, I like snails. I've had snails before. I've had escargot. Then those seemed good, you know. Wow, it's crawling all over the glyphid dreadnought egg. Thankfully, Bosco's not shooting that. I've never had rotten shark. I know they do a lot of that shark fin soup over in China. Marlene says he'll never eat Skyline chili, which I don't know what that is. Okay. I need to find... Well, I can get some of this while I'm here. I mean, I'm just asking. When I say maggot, or when I say maggot, can you hear the M? Because I had a problem before where it didn't register.
Time.
So Sark says crawfish and snails are dangerously close to bug-like. Well, I'd say, like, when you have these small exoskeleton arthropod sea creatures, you're very, very close to bugs, you know? Snails, shrimp, lobster, crab. I mean, the big difference, when we think of bugs, we're generally thinking of small bugs, right? And the thing about small bugs is you gotta eat the whole thing. When you eat the lobster, it's like you separate the parts of the lobster you want to eat and the parts you don't want to eat, and you just eat the parts you want. Obviously, with a bug, you eat the whole thing. I think what happens, though, like when they farm crickets and whatnot, is they isolate the cricket for a while, maybe a day, where the cricket's not eating anything, so it tends to just evacuate but not replenish. So you're not eating a lot of cricket crap, to put it bluntly. Okay. I need to find morkite. I think that's some right there. No? It's just bloopy fruit.
Give me some light.
Bloopy fruit.
Stay by my side, Bob.
Snails do, or restaurants do charge a lot for snails. Peanut says, you'd think snails would be inexpensive. Well, you know, it's one of those things where, like, some of this stuff probably could be a lot less expensive if we did it on bigger scales, if we did it more regularly. I mean, to put it very simply, there's been a lot of very smart people who have put a lot of effort into trying to improve beef production. And there has not been anywhere close to that amount of effort put into snail production. Also, like, beef genetics are serious. Like, you can get bull semen, I think, for like thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, right? Like, beef genetics is big. And when I say that's not necessarily, you know, when people hear genetics, they're thinking necessarily genetically modified. It doesn't have to be genetically modified. It can be just selectively bred, right? Some guy has been able to breed just larger, better growing, more healthy cows, calves, bulls, and now people will pay huge amounts of money for his bull's product. Who here has had Rocky Mountain oysters? That's another bull product. What the? Oh, what? Another one of these things? It's so far away now. Oh, oh my God. I was chasing down the hoarder and got snatched by a cave leaf. And now the hoarder's gone. Take it out on this Praetorian. That was some... God, where the heck is all this Morkite?
With the minerals here. Molly,
Yeah. Jeez.
make another posset.
Well, Ando, I don't think you've been marketing it that well, have you?
I wanna punch the
Mantis
guy in
shrimp?
R&D
Well,
who
those,
programmed
you have
Molly.
the, isn't there like a couple kinds of mantis shrimp? One that has like the really great claws and one that's got the puncher. There's like the shrimp that can punch so fast that it cavitates the water. Let me take a look. Let's bring that up. Bring up the mantis shrimp. Where's my window? Oh, that's the window. So here you got a bunch of these punching shrimp, right? I'll crack stuff open. But isn't there one that's like... Huh? What's that one? Okay, shrimp, claw, cavitate, water. Pistol shrimp. Okay, this is the... So there you got the mantis shrimp, that's the puncher, and then you have the pistol shrimp. Whoop. Schmerling says, what do you think about the new mission that was introduced in this patch? It's kind of long. Kind of feels like 2 or 3 missions. I mean, it's cool, but all I want to do is find... Oh, look at that. So... Get out of here. You can see here, this pistol shrimp slams its claw so fast, it creates a bubble in the water, right? No, mantis shrimp are the punching shrimp. This is pistol shrimp, the claw shrimp, I guess. I guess that's how that works. Boom. And the bubble, you know, normally you think of bubble, you're thinking of like some air in the water. But there's no air, I guess. What? Well, what is exactly happening? I gotta look it up now. 1 second. Pistol shrimp. Cavitation bubble. Static pressure of a liquid reduces below the liquid's vapor pressure. Right, okay. So, you have like... You're thinking of like a bubble of air. But instead, we are creating a gas, right? With this. It's like instantly boiling a small amount of water. Because, okay, cavitation... formation of small vapor-filled cavities in the liquid. Now, FN says, I think it's creating a tiny vacuum. I don't think it's a vacuum because, well, I think it's almost like a vacuum. I'm not sure. We'd have to ask somebody who knows. But I think you've got... Okay. Let's just do this. That's the wrong window. Oh, we'll go ahead and do and then do this. So we have the claw, right? Coming together. Somewhere back here. Behind the bubble, let's say. Oof. Claw snap. And you have, of course, water all around. In this bubble, you have a small amount of water that's turned into a gas. But it's still extremely low pressure, right? So this is very low pressure and this is very high pressure. So when you put liquid in like a really low pressure, so like the surface of this cavitation bubble is almost boiling, right? So it's collapsing super quick, but also boiling. And filling the bubble with some amount of water vapor, but not very much. I mean, it's not filling up the bubble with enough vapor pressure to actually push back on the water coming in and remain a bubble, which is why the bubble disappears, right? The bubble does disappear after a second. Yeah, so you have... Let's make it really easy. Click play. Yeah. So that's definitely a bubble. And the surface of the bubble is like boiling, I guess. Yeah, look at that. Bam. But yeah, so this, we were talking about mantis shrimp at the beginning. Mantis shrimp. Then these guys, they're not the pistol shrimps where they do the the crab or the claw snap. These are just punching the crap out of things. Let's just type in punch. No, not a human. Punch a clam. There we go. Let's see here. Let me just do this real quick. Okay, so he'll come up and sort of position himself. Okay, he's hitting it. Bang, bang. And these can be some pretty powerful hits. I don't think they're all super powerful. As you can see, I mean, look at that. I mean, he decimated that thing. Well, I mean, what's pistol shrimp? Pistol shrimp. And then mantis shrimp. So we've got border is stoma. Border here is decapod. So so we got crustacea class, same class, subclass. Well, subclass is not listed here. The taxonomic classification of animals is, I mean, there's a lot of animals to classify. I mean, they're related. More related than not. Yeah, well, whatever. I don't care. Alright, now what am I doing? Oh, I gotta kill Dreadnought. And I gotta find... I kill a Dreadnought and find Morkite. Oh. Hmm. Well, let's see. Well, it's probably some in this big room, right? Somewhere? There's some. Bosco will just knock it straight down to me, more or less. That being said, I probably need more than just this one vein. Oh, let's see here. Mr. A... Wait, what's this? Well, Eric says that they recommend acrylic tanks over glass tanks for the mantis shrimp because they can break the glass easier. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I remember a story. So my grandpa, he had a fish tank. I think he had a decently large fish tank. And he went on vacation with the family. I mean, like, the family went on vacation. And they came back, and the fish tank had broke while they were gone. And I think it was a big tank. It was probably at least a couple 100 gallons, right? And all the fish were dead, except for one. Apparently, a plecostomus can live by sucking the water out of a carpet for a couple days. Apparently. Because it wasn't like a super recent break. Like the thing broke and then a day or two went by. Like 36, 48 hours, somewhere around there. And there was a plecostomus just sucking on the carpet to try and live. And it did. Oh, stupid cable. The tales of the fish tank. Oh my god, no. Acid spitter. Fish tanks are cool, but a lot of work, you know? Just a lot. Like, you gotta really like maintaining a fish tank to get one on some level, right? Like, some people, they have their, like, little fish tank, and it's like a little world, and they like the going around and vacuuming up the things and cleaning it, checking water pH, and it's like, you know, like something they have complete control over until, like, there's some sort of disaster with the microbiome and becoming super whatever, like filled with ammonia. And then it's not the little world they have control over. It's a little nightmare. FN says plecostomus? You mean sucker? I mean, you can call him a sucker. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, it is a plecostomus, though. Those things can get pretty darn big. Suck face fish? Knat, good night. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the spoken word embargo. Well, no problem. It's my favorite one. It's heavenly, after all. Well, he said embargy. Bargay? Oh, God. Where is the egg? Over there. Am I hitting it? Maybe I'm not hitting it. Oh, I'm hitting it. Another hive guard. All right. Here we go. Hopefully the last dreadnought of this whole deep dive. Unless they put dreadnoughts in the last mission too. So this is another hive guard. It actually might take a while to get up to me. Oh. Got one of its babies, though. Oh! Where's it at? There it is.
Explosives, guys.
Woo! Oh no! Ooh! 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 Oh. Life sucks.
Why am I killing the wildlife?
I didn't mean to. Patricius, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. I'm just fighting a hive guard here. Hopefully I'll be done in a second.
Oh yeah. This never gets old.
I wonder, should I be freezing this guy? I wonder how hard it is to freeze him. Oh, it's not nearly as hard as I remember. Although. Alright, well there's that. Could I refill? I will.
Ready to kill some more crates. Yeah.
I'd read some of what's going on in chat, but I'm not sure if I can read some of that. FN says, do I have any updates on the technology stream? It's taking a little bit longer to figure out than I was anticipating. I mean, it's definitely, it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen one way or another. Like, I'll have this guest or I won't have this guest. There will definitely be a technology stream on my main channel, probably on a Sunday, right? I'll probably hijack this time slot. Oh my god. To do the stream. And then we'll answer the question, you know, should we return to Monkey? But, you know, we'll answer it in a way that, like, I think those who are intellectually interested in the ideas of criticism of technology will find valuable. Come on, Bosco. Oh my god. Oh my, up. I'm in the lower room now. Wow, he followed quick. Alright, let's try and do the freeze. Wow, I thought he would be invulnerable again by now. Oh, now he goes invulnerable. Okay, life sucks. Life is the worst. But in terms of other updates about the tech stream, I mean, like I said, I don't want to mention any specific guests that I've contacted, because what if they say, Margo, I hate that guy. I don't even want to be associated with him. I don't want to be, like, telling people, oh, jeez. Like, oh, yeah, he's totally going to be on it with me, and then he's, you know, he hates me or something. Boom. And then this. Come on, freeze.
Well done, team.
There we go.
Immediate dreadnought threat eliminated. Objective completed.
Time, old lady. I've got
All objectives completed. Hit the button on the mule when you're ready, and we'll pick you up.
never felt better.
Spencer, how's it going? Good to see you.
Transportation inbound. The deep dive is progressing nicely.
Okay, so over that direction, huh? Oh, I can just go down through the giant hole in the ground. Where is the hole in the ground? Oh. Over this way? Alright.
Drop pod has arrived.
Boom.
The mule has been called back. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
FN says, return to Monkey to change what it means to become man. Mario Maker after defeating Bowser and taking back the Devolution gun. Super Mario Brothers movie. What? Might have explained that to me. Not exactly sure what you said. I feel like I'm reading the tags beneath a video.
Nice work once again.
All right.
Diving to the next stage.
Deepest stage in the deep dive.
The mule has docked, initiating launch sequence.
I haven't seen the Mario movie. Oh, you wrote Mario, not Mario Maker. I was thinking of the video game. Oh, a haunted cave. You're saying that Mario returns to Monkey? In the Mario Brothers movie? Bowser has a gun that turns people into chimps, FN says. Okay, so Bowser's making people return into monkey? Is that what you're saying?
Here we go!
Minus, you've done very well so far.
Okay, so this is a
Judging
Quarks
by your
and one
readings, I
Dreadnought.
doubt
Oh my
you'll
god,
make it through
another
stage
Dreadnought.
3.
Okay,
But
go
we'll
get
see.
that.
You surprised me before. Eyes on your objectives. Let's get it done.
Oh, see this? The unknown horror. That's going to be following me around for the entire match, which is sometimes quite a problem on these Quark missions. Point extraction. But it's less of a problem when it's just one person solo. It's more of a problem when you got like 4 people and then the guy, the unknown horror, just sits at the mine head and like makes it hard to play. Okay, drop that. There we go. Do you see how I had him drop that right over the mine head? That was so glorious. Okay. And then this. Get that.
Get to work!
Oh my god, there's the horror. Can you hear that? You can hear this sort of woo sound when the horror gets close. I'm saying horror. Horror, by the way. Horror. Was my microphone all right? FN says it's not that unknown. I mean, it's right there. Well, it's known to you now. But did you know about it just a minute ago? Didn't think so. You had no idea. You didn't even know we would see a horror known or unknown today. Okay, see that? Bosco's coming with the thing. Gonna get to the mine head. Nowish. I'm gonna have him drop it right in over there. Okay, is there a hole here? Yes, there is. Into the hole we go. And Bosco, just pick that up. Pick that up for me. I don't know where the horror is now, but should be able to avoid it. Oh, I hear it. I think it's to the right of me. Somewhere. I gotta get these in the mine head. I need 7 of these, and I gotta kill a dreadnought. But I can bring the dreadnought to the mine head to get shot by the platform guns. So that's positive. Horror's in that tunnel, it looks like. I don't know where it is. Okay, Bosco, give me that. Doop. I had to rub my eye. I gotta rub my eye. Run from a horror. Try and find where this dreadnought's at. Oh, it's up there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, God, it's these guys.
Hang in there. Supplies are on the way.
Okay, into the hole.
Resupply pod is here. Everybody connect up in
Oh, there's a swarmer thing right next to me. And then like this. God. Oh, please get away from me, bugs. Okay. I'm out of that mess. What the? Oh my god. They really followed me right in, huh? Get out of here, you. When can I burst this down, you think? You can see that, like, all these bugs have armor, too. So, like, that particular hit there, I was able to knock his armor off with the thing. Where's the Arbalist?
Contact.
Okay.
Lock and load.
Oh, and a swarm is coming right now? Wow. This is a great timing. Hey, guys. A swarm, unknown horror, and dreadnoughts. I'm gonna have to stay around the minehead just to try and get the minehead to shoot things. How much nitro do I have anyway? That was Okay, I actually can get one more resupply in a second. Woo. Oh, God. Oh. I'm on a rock island in the middle of the air? Jeez. I thought it sent me up somewhere good. Spencer says he likes dwarfs from European mythology. Well, they've been replaced. They're now gonna be something totally different. Oh, come on, you. Look at that sliver of life. Uh-oh. Oh, and of course, the great heal. Okay, I can burst it down. Give me this. Oh my gosh, you see all that blue glowy stuff? That means it was just about to kill me. Oop, 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 oop. Okay, I'm killing this thing. Ready for this. Here we go. Get out of here. Oh, damn it. Bosco, getting in the way of my axes.
That was that. Lacerator eliminated.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, shoot. Oh, okay, I'm very low on health now. Oh, God.
I think we actually have a chance to make it out alive. Get explored.
Oh, jeez. Hiding in the hole, I'm like, oh, dude, I'll hide in a really deep hole and just, like, barely grab it from right above me, and he'll never be able to hit me. That was not the case, apparently. Bosco, go shoot him for me. He's very far away. Whoa. Where the heck is this Aquark? It's in there somewhere, right? Bosco, why aren't you fighting him? Oh my God, Bosco, kill this guy for me.
Explosive spikes.
Come on, Bosco. Oh, goodness. Oh, almost jumped to my death. Oh. Okay. Maybe if I just hang about the mine head will kill it. Ooh, another Aquark. I only need one more Aquark. Bosco, apparently you can't kill this guy, so go get that rock for me. Ooh, jeez.
Good work, team. Objective completed.
All I have to do is avoid that, and then I can win. So it's coming close, and you'll see, like, the blue stuff. See that? See all that glowy stuff? It means you're on the verge of death. It means you're about to die. Oh, God. Let me up. Bosco, throw me that.
And that's the last one. Good work, team. Objective complete.
Press button. Must live.
Exemplary work. You've achieved your objectives in record time. Launch the minehead and we'll send in the drop
Oh, God.
pod. Minehead launched. Escape pod will arrive.
Well,
when the minehead has
whew.
been secured. Hang in there.
Spencer says from his research, elves and dwarves come from German mythology. Right, well, a lot of European mythology more generally is, like, pretty connected, but, like, we end up with some popular ones that have, like, a direct lineage to one group, but, so you guys kept telling me to watch a review of a cartoon. What was it? Steven's Universe? Well, I went and watched it. I mean, it was certainly interesting. And I mean, the thing is, the stuff that they try and feed to our kids, and I say try, the stuff they are successfully feeding to our children is very harmful. Am I saying anything groundbreaking there? What do you think of all these flowers, huh? They're so pretty. When you get near them, they sent off pollen, which probably, like, knowing Hoxxes, which is the planet we're on, probably the pollen is, like, infiltrating the dwarves' lungs and killing them.
Rock! Air! Stir! Come and get me, you disgusting
Using the dwarves to spread their seeds to other planets. Alright, I'm about to win if I can live for, I don't know, however long it takes me to get to the drop pod. Ready for this?
Drop pod en route. Hang in there.
Over there. So I don't know what this does. So there's this ring here, right? You walk through it, and now I've got my own ring around me. I assume it's like a buff. Or it's just a visual effect for funsies. And I honestly don't know which.
Arrived, waiting for takeoff.
If it is a buff, I don't know what it does.
Departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
There we go.
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Rock and stone, yeah!
Yeah. Mr. Gladius says Mario. This is. I know some of these comments are older. I've been trying to win. Mr. Gladius says Mario is based. I don't know how well. I don't know well. I don't know well how, but since it's an Italian saving a kingdom and a blonde girl from a savage monster, so it has to be based. Sure. Merlin says it makes you run faster. Oh, okay, so it makes you run faster when you do the thing.
Bakal!
Spencer says, I know someone who's downloaded old kids shows on his computer for his son who's little. Yeah. Well, and you know, I mean, not the worst thing in the world. The Library of Congress or whatever has a whole sort of Aesop's Fable interactive book thing. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, here we go. They have Aesop's Fables, or the Aesop for Children list of fables. So we could do like grapes, Fox and the Grapes, and you have this. You can read it, and then you can click on the orange fox to begin. Oh my gosh, what? I think it might be broken in Edge. This is Microsoft Edge, the browser. Try opening it in Firefox or something. Or Brave or whatever you're using. Because there should be like an animation of him trying to reach up to the grapes and not being able to reach it. I don't know, sulking or something afterwards. But this is the Library of Congress. It's a sort of thing going on with all these fables. Everyone's favorite. Oh my gosh, is the scorpion not on here? Oh, next. Oh no, it just starts. Frog and the Ox. I guess the scorpion and the frog's not on here. Right? What else would it be called if not a scorpion? Maybe the scorpion and the frog isn't politically correct enough. Do they have your personal favorite, the grasshopper and the octopus? They have the owl and the grasshopper, the ants and the grasshopper, and the ass and the grasshopper, which of course would be a mule or a donkey. I don't know what that is, Sark. Ugh. Gotta be some good ones in here. You know what else is good and old? What's that one? Oh gosh. Old Man and the Tengu? This is Japanese, but they're just called it... Oh. Kobutori. This was a pretty fun one. I'm not sure that's how the official wording of that particular fable, Patricius. This is a fun one. Kobutori. It's this is 1929, so this is we were a decade before World War II. There's a lot of text, obviously, and they're explaining this this old man. So you have these two old men living in a village, and they have these... I forget what term is often used to translate. But they have like a growth on their faces, right? Like a tumor sort of deal, right? So this old man, he's got one on his right cheek. And he's not real happy about it, as you can tell. And... okay, so they're living their life in their town, blah, blah, blah. Then you have this old man. This is a different old man. That's not a jawbreaker in his mouth. That's a growth. It's like a tumor. What word did they use? Like, Ren? No. Is this the word? Or is there a different word? Wart? Yeah, it's like a... I think you'd call it bigger than what most people would call a wart, though. Like a growth. Tumor. Kobutori. Is it... yeah, Kobutori. Kobutori Ji-san, right? Ji-san is old man. Lump taken old man. So they're saying lump. Gland tumor. I mean, he's got a tumor. Right? The gland thing. And Schmerling says goiter. Maybe that's it. But he's got one on his left cheek. Our main guy here. Kobutori Ji-san. His neighbor has one on his right cheek. And he's going to the forest and doing his job. I mean, he's an old man, but he still does what he can, right? He goes to the forest, chops trees, gets wood. You know, probably, I don't know, making charcoal or something. And it starts to rain and thunder and storm. Let's see. I want to see that thunder and storm. That was kind of cool. So he goes and he hides from the storm in a tree, right? And to kind of wait it out. You can think of sort of like going into the tree and all this chaos happening. And it's sort of... As the storm rages, he's sitting there. At one point, I think he tries to go out, and then he's like, "Ah, screw it, I'm going back in. It's so bad out there." And he's waiting and waiting, and then it's sort of coming out of the tree on the other side of the storm is a little bit like being transported to a different world. You know, the birds are flying through the air and chirping, and the sun's beautiful again. Stars start to come out. He had fallen asleep. Bats are here. And he hears this music in the distance. Oh, God. So obviously there's something happening in the distance, right? So he goes to check it out, and he sees these figures dancing. And you can kind of see some things that are odd that you wouldn't see on a normal human. And our old man is feeling it. He's grooving. And here you have what might appear almost to be just a regular man, right? Oh, look at that nose, though. Look at that long nose. There's that emoticon. It's the red face with the long nose. That's this guy. And then you have these guys with their wings and their beaks. So you have this in Japanese mythology. You have the tengu, right? This sort of, you know, birdman thing. And that, yes, there you go, FN. And you have the karas tengu. Karas is like crow, right? So you have your very literal interpretation of sort of a man with claws and a beak and feathers and wings, and then you have like what morphs into the more sort of human interpretation of that stern man who's very much a human, but that long nose and it's sort of a different way of being. It's got the more human features. So he's having his little party, right? He's the man in charge, right? Putting out his... Well, it's like a glass, right? You have the little things that you drink sake from. It's like a little... It's not like a thimble, but it's like a wide little dish, right? But he's got... You know, he's the biggest, baddest Tengu in charge, so of course his is like ultra-wide, right? It's huge. It'd be really hard to drink out of it without spilling stuff all over your face. But, you know, the old man is just so taken in by the music and the livelihood, and he just can't help but come in and dance. And this guy's like, what the heck's going on here? But the old man is very gracious, immediately bows. You know, he's a very polite person. He tells this man exactly what had happened. Oh, I was waiting out the storm, you know, I've been gathering wood, and I heard your music, and I had to come and dance, and it was amazing. And then, well, let's see. This guy, he's laughing, and he's like, all right, well, you know, let's see what you can do, old man. Something like that. I'm not going to read this. For one, I can't read kanji. So they got the music starting back up again. And the old man is going to put on his little scarf or whatever and just start dancing. Dancing away and entertaining everybody, right? He's going at it. And now the Tengu aren't dancing. They're all just... Oh, look at him. He's really jiving now. He's loving this. And it's the combination of this old man's politeness, his honesty, it's his genuineness, and also his talent and skill for song and dance and entertaining. All those things that combine that make him such a popular figure among the Tengu, right? FN says, is this kind of fan significant? I don't know the significance of this sort of fan compared to other fans. And of course he's saying, hey, won't you drink with us or whatever? Or he's gonna drink, right? Because again, he's very gracious, very bows, right? And while our guy is very honest and very polite and very genuine normally, they do kind of say to him something to the effect of, hey, like, you were great. You need to come back. And he's like, hey, you need to take something from this guy. You need to take something from this old man so we can be sure he comes back and entertains us again, right? And they're like, well, we'll take that thing off his face, right? And the old man pretends that he really likes his tumor. The old man is like, oh, no, don't take my tumor off my face. I really need that. I want to keep my tumor. And so they're like, oh, great, perfect. If we take his tumor, he'll definitely want to come back to the next party and entertain us again, right? So Tengu pulls his tumor off his face. Well, gonna help all of his old buddies come in. Boop, 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 boop. And he catches it on his fan. So there you go. Got the tumor removed. So he goes back to his village, and the other old man in town, who's got the tumor on his right side instead of his left side, he's like, "Oh, you got rid of your tumor? How the hell did you do that? I want to get rid of my tumor." And they're like, "Well, the Tengu's pulled off my face." Right? He's like, so the first old man tells this other old man, like, here's where they are, and they pulled it off my face because they wanted me to be sure that wanted to be sure that I'd come back. So this other old man impersonates the first old man. So he's shown up here. But his level of politeness, social grace, genuineness, and his ability to dance and sing and entertain are all so much worse, right? This man cannot manage to... Like, these people are pissed. He's flopping all... Wait, that's an old man doing a backflip, though. I mean, he's nearly hitting the people in the crowd with his stick. Oh! Oh my god. I forget what he's stealing there. I think he's stealing something... Oh, maybe there's some other situation that I missed in this particular cartoon, but I think the idea was he wanted to get rid of his face thing. And then this Tengu is like, you know what? I've had enough of you. I've had enough of you. You know what, old man? I never want to see you again. Take your stupid tumor back and get out of here. And he uses his fan to blow the old man away and catches him into a tree. And of course, here you have the crows. Karas for like the cross Tengu. And so now, this old man who isn't as polite and genuine and nice and kind and having great social graces that allows him to dance, entertain, he's now stuck with both damn tumors. One on each side of his face. Now, Patricia says, what's the whole point of this? I thought it was fun. You know, I just kind of like it. One of the things we were talking about was the idea of exposing your children to older content that might not have the subversive messages, but might just have good messages, or they might just be fun. And I mean, what's the message of this? It's be polite, gracious, kind, honest. Don't look to steal things from people, because that's what this guy did. And also try and, on some level, build up your skills towards entertaining. You know, you should want to be able to entertain your guests or entertain people and to join them in song and dance and celebration in a way that allows you to fit in and to have a good time and facilitates other people having a good time, you know, because that's certainly not what happened here. Like, oh my god, this guy's terrible. Wapow! Woo! FN says, have you heard of Evil Mickey Mouse Attacks Japan? An other old Japanese animation from the 1930s. It's anti-West / anti-American propaganda. I don't think I've seen that. Mickey Mouse Attacks Japan. Oh. What the? Eat that, turtle. I don't know why the turtle's got cat ears. Unless there's a cat in there. Why is this It's like a mouse wearing a tiger suit. Something. What's happening? 1936. Oh my gosh, it's Mickey. Oh, it's a piece of paper. Oh my god. Who are these? What is that? Is that a bat? Okay. I'm just gonna skip a little bit through this and try to see what's going on. So does Mickey get his ass kicked in the end? Is that what's gonna happen? The big evil Mickey? Oh, snakes. Oh my god. Oh no, this isn't Mickey, it's one of the Mickey planes that came along with him. Oh my god. So, ooh. Looks like bees poking him. Then he expands and explodes and you got his skeleton. Falls down to earth. Ando says the mouse fears the samurai. Apparently. Maybe. They're just popping. Ugh. The ground itself is raised. I like how Mickey has, like, patched shoes. What's happening here? Okay, Mickey's getting his butt kicked as I expected. Arrow says the Cuphead character was the inspiration for the Cuphead video game character. Oh, really? Is he gonna try and... Oh, something came out of the box. I thought he was gonna try and catch the mouse in a box. He just turned Mickey Mouse into an old man with magic smoke. My god. And then the cherry blossoms. Or something. Alright. There you go. Wow. That was something very interesting. On Twitch, Begot says, do you think the supposed behavior of the Japanese during the World War II era, similar to Germany, is mostly post-war propaganda or fair? My impression, you know, I'm no expert on this. My impression is the Japanese did some things that other people may have also done. And if we say that they're bad for it, then everyone is bad for it. My impression is also that they did some pretty bad things. Like, yeah. I mean, they definitely did some experimentation and imprisonment of people. I forget what it is. So they had some people imprisoned, and they either experimented on them or subjected them to conditions such that they were afraid that as they when they were surrendering it, they were saying, if anyone finds out what we did to these prisoners, we're gonna brood. Right? So they went and they took some of those prisoners who were supposed to be freed when the surrender happened, and instead brought them out back and murdered them, right? So, I mean, like, did they do some bad stuff? Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I'm not gonna really hold it against them because, it's just one of the things that's, I mean, like, and that's one of the differences between white people and most non-whites, you know, like, did this group or that group do things in the past, we're willing to forgive them in ways that they're not willing to forgive us, right? This is one of the reasons why it's not working, right? We're willing to forgive other people in ways that they won't forgive us. And will never forgive us. And even if they did, there's still the whole issue of biospirit. Like, we're still genuinely different. We're not the same. We're just not the same. And this is a... you know, I posted some stuff on Twitter recently. Did you see that where I talked about Asians, white people living in Asia? Let me see if I can bring this up. Bum, bum, bum. And... you know, a couple of people have... you know, one of the things when we look at how things are working in the United States today... let me see if I can bring up... where is my media? Oh, God. 1 second. I hate this website. Boom. So, for example, you look at just if you pull Democrats, if you say, all right, who's a Democrat here? Should white people feel guilty for racial inequality, right? Should whites feel shame? Should they feel guilty? White Democrats are the only group of Democrats who majority don't agree. The plurality do agree, right? It's a big problem. But they're the only group that doesn't majority agree, and they're the highest group for disagreeing, right? So, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, they all majority think that whites should feel guilty for racial inequality. And some people have said to me, well, what's going on with that? You know, so you have these Asians who come over to the United States, and they enjoy what we've created here, but then they sort of... they support affirmative action, and they support racial white guilt, you know, but do we actually act like that when we're over there? And I said, you know, to some degree we do, right? One of the things I talked about is this particular video. So let's bring this up.
I think we should explore a few solutions.
Oh, God.
Grammarly
So, in this video, you have... well, there's a black guy, a bunch of white people, and then the ethnically Japanese person, and then the Japanese waitress. And the backwards Japanese racist, we could call her, the Japanese bigot waitress, turns to her ethnic kin to ask if she can take everyone's order. And then this person explains... you know, gomen, you know, sorry, actually, she doesn't speak Japanese, right? And so this backwards Japanese bigot, this is a thing created by white people, right? This Japanese bigot is saying like, oh, sorry, I oh, do you have any specials? She's saying, oh, I don't speak English. She's not speaking to the white person because she doesn't speak English. And then, like, she's like, well, isn't he speaking Japanese? So it's a situation where the backwards Asian waitress is not speaking to the white people and is just insistently trying to speak to the Japanese ethnic person because, you know, in her mind, she can't imagine non-Japanese people being able to speak her language. She just can't imagine, she can't comprehend that, because she can't comprehend that it's the 21st century, and it's time to accept that physical appearance is not necessarily a reflection of one's cultural identity. And she's just such a backwards bigot that she's not willing to accept all these, not able to accept that all these outsiders are speaking Japanese, right? So that's, I was born in Kamogawa City, Chiba Prefecture, and where he talks about, the major industries are fishing and peanuts. I'm big, I'm like you guys. I feel pride in our community in which I am a part of, and these are all like, fight, Fighto. Fighto, you gotta push back against these evil Japanese bigot who is, by her sort of, the way that she addresses us, she's oppressing us poor white people, right? And the thing is, a lot of these white people, I think this guy, I don't know about the girl, and this guy, I think they were born in Japan, right? One of the things you may have seen my video, Assimilation as a Joke, right? Where I described that what we think of as assimilation, think of like people trying to fit in, is largely not historically how assimilation has worked. What we think of as assimilating outside groups, the only way that has ever worked in the United States is by putting a huge amount of pressure on outside groups to assimilate, so much pressure that those who do not fit in have to go back home, right? They get pushed back to their home countries. And one of the things you see with with white people living in Japan is that it's often very, very hard to immigrate to Japan. So what you see is like, you'll have a guy or a gal, and she or he will really like the Japanese culture deeply, right? And because it's one of the hardest places to get into the world, right? So they could choose to go anywhere, but they picked Japan even though it was so hard, right? So you often have first-generation white immigrants who are like true believers in the Japanese culture and the Japanese way of life. You see what I'm saying? So there is a selection process where white people who fit in with the Japanese culture the best are selected as first-generation immigrants. But then those white people have kids like this, who aren't the same way. They didn't get a choice of basically every country in the world and chose the one that they liked the most, right? They were born here, whether they like it or not. And they are feeling the oppression of the Japanese people on their shoulders. And they gotta push back against this bigoted, backwards oppression. Like, here you have, this bigoted waitress who is well-meaning. She's not violent, but her backwards view of the world is oppressing them, right? So that's what is happening over there. So I describe, it's not always fun to live in someone else's civilization, You have your own civilization to express. White people, Westmen, create Western civilization. And wherever Western civilization is, that's where you'll find us. Wherever we are, you'll find that. But Asians, they have their own civilization, right? They have their own way of doing things. And when different groups of people are in one area, they will both try and express their civilization at the same time, and you'll get some amount of conflict, right? After all, what I mentioned before, the way you judge structures, your mental brain morphology and mental apparatus is all, to a large degree, genetic, right? So there's going to be sort of an underlying conflict between different racial groups. Even when Japan has been able to selectively select for some of the best fitting in whites, when the second generation of these white immigrants, you get some amount of regression to the mean, right? Some of their kids are less like them and more like what the average white person is like. and they don't fit in as well as their parents did. Spencer says, from what I've seen in Japan, you either have to be an English teacher or a high school worker. Yeah, I mean, you really have to have a lot to offer before they'll let you. You have to have a moderate amount to offer to become a resident. You need to have a lot to offer to become a citizen, right? They're fine to let you come and work and then leave in a couple years. That's a lot easier. Yeah, so Mr. A says, I was with an English guy in Japan who used to get pissed off at the locals when they used the word gaijin. I thought it was so ridiculous. So for anyone who doesn't know, gaijin... So jin is like person, right? It's like hito, right? Uses the same kanji. Person. Gai just means foreign, right? So gaijin is foreign person. But the more politically correct term is now gaikokujin, which is foreign country person. So you're not a foreign person, you're a foreign country person. You know, like, oh. Begot says, they let Jared Taylor in, so the Japs must be evil bigots. You think he was born there, right? His parents in. Ugh. FN says, I need to find a bully. What? Oh, yeah, I mean, I would hope that Japanese people would see what's happening in the West. I mean, Japanese people aren't my people, but I like them. They're good people. I would hope Japanese people would look at the West and see what's happening, and then they'd look at this video and they'd say, oh my god, it's coming here, and put a stop to it. Nero says Kokujins. It's Gai Kokujin. Gai is foreign. Koku is country and Jin is person. Rub-a-dub says, I frequently see those clickbaity videos where whites title something like, surprise them that I speak X language, usually an Asian country. It's cringy and comes off as egotistical. Well, that goes back to the whole sort of, like, there's a very common idea, especially in, like, sort of America that's, like, anti-American, your sort of leftist America. Like, you know, oh, well, Americans are bad because they're monolingual, right? Americans are so bad and dumb because we only speak one language. And if we were smart and good, we'd speak multiple. And then you, because of that idea, you get this, like, social signaling for intelligence that people do to show that they speak multiple languages, right? So you get, like, you know, well, you know, everyone wants to be the polyglot. I speak multiple languages. Oh, Nero says Kokujin blacks. Oh, hey, maybe. I know for whites it's Hakujin. Maybe Koku. I have to look it up. Because black is Kuroi, right? White is normally Shiroi, but I'm not sure how to conjugate that. Spencer says Jared was born in Japan. Yeah, that's true. Mr. A says the Chinese don't get any flack for calling Europeans Gualai, which means ghost people. Yeah, we've been playing on Wednesdays. I've been playing what's that? Deus Ex Human Revolution, and they've been using slurs against white people the whole time, right? And white gamers generally aren't complaining too much, right? Again, being called Gualai and whatever. I mean, again, white people don't hold past or even current transgressions against their group nearly as strongly as other groups, right? Like, if you can go on Twitter, you can find, like, some white guy getting beaten up by a crowd, and you'll see on Twitter, they'll be like, well, did he say the N-word? You know, black Twitter will be like, well, he might have said the N-word, so he got beaten up. But, like, you're not gonna see videos of a bunch of white people beating up a black guy, and, like, white Twitter being like, well, he said honky, so got the crap beaten out of him. That's what you get when you say honky. You go to the hospital. Yeah, like, that's just not that's not a thing nearly as much, because it's just like, well, I mean, I'll bring up the picture, right? The eternal picture that I have to bring up constantly to people on Twitter. Ready for this? Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Is your group, is your racial group, is you, the fact that you are what race you are, is that very important or extremely important? And it's that way for the majority of every group other than whites, right? So this is what you would expect. You would expect Asians to be able to call, or like Chinese people to be able to call whites gualai and to have not much going on, but if you were to use some of the anti-Chinese racial slurs common in English, so spoken by white people historically, well, then you can get banned for YouTube, right? You can say gualai because it's towards whites from them rather than from us towards them. In other words, the most intolerant group gets to sort of set the standards. So the whites aren't setting the standards. Well, and speaking about the whole language thing, you know, so like the whole language thing, so you have the people who are suggesting that you're dumb if you're monolingual, and then you have the people who are using their multilingualism as a way to socially signal intelligence and their general superiority. And then you have some people who are really annoyed by that. They're really annoyed by seeing these people socially signal their intelligence, right? So they get sort of hypersensitive to it, and that's what you see with American Krogan, right? American Krogan speaks multiple European languages, and like sometimes we'll be talking about an issue, and there's like a concept in Spanish that isn't in English that's relevant, especially if we're talking about like history. Like we'll be talking about Spain's history, and he will mention in Spanish like an event or a concept or some critical element to that. And then some of these guys who are very sensitive to the whole sort of idiotic, you're dumb if you're monolingual, will assume that Krogan is doing the exact same sort of intelligence signaling that everyone else does. And they get big butthurt about it. Look at that. I like doing this. I have jumped around a lot in the space rig. Well, so Spencer says he's only seen that sort of behavior. You know what we've been talking about with like whites very much thinking about their race and caring about racial slurs and stuff like that. Spencer says he's only seen that in white prison gangs. Well, that's because that's where whites are forced to deal with it, right? In polite society, a lot of whites can just hang around with other whites, and we can sort of pretend that, you know, nothing special is happening, and kind of put it all to the side. But when you're in prison, it's so in your face and constant. You know, you have these other groups that will kill you. Often whites, for their own protection, need to join a white gang just to stay alive. It depends on the prison, right? Each prison's different. And the racial makeup of the area it contributes to the prison population. So a lot of whites in prison, they've lived in some of the most multiracial, the most multicultural experiences in the United States, so they kind of have to drop their natural tendencies. Mr. A says, have you seen any recent Chinese movies that are coming out right now? No, I haven't. Woo! Well, Sark, I mean, we'll see how it works out, ultimately. Okay, well, that's about it for me today. This was my very first Sunday stream, so just kind of keeping it somewhat chill. Again, I'll be doing Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and at any point I might hijack a Saturday or Sunday stream to go on the main channel for a more serious stream, not gaming. And also what I kind of want to do is have a little bit more prepared for some of these streams. Like, you know, I've brought up the paint program and some images. I'd like to be able to do that more with some pre-planned things, you know, like have some images ready, you know, kind of stuff that's happened during the week, and kind of talk about it and hang out. Chill.
That will do.
Oh, man.
Like
Well,
that.
anyway, have a good Sunday. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Wednesday if you show up for the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time stream. I'm playing Deus Ex Human Revolution. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.